Joe says you should read his other stuff. Welcome, wonderful humans, to the June 25th instance of the InstructLab community meeting. We are very happy that all of you could join us. For those who are following along real time, I'm going to drop the link to our agenda in the chat. I'm just wanted to let folks know in advance that halfway through this call, I'm going to need to transition to my car, so I will follow along from my mobile, but I will be handing the meeting over at approximately halfway through to Ms. Carol Chen. Let us all take a moment to appreciate Carol Chen for being so excited about InstructLab that she thinks it's super fun and awesome to join our community meeting on her day off. Thank you, Carol. We appreciate you.
Glad to be here.
Thanks, Carol.
All right, folks. As always, we're going to start our community meeting with a quick rundown of our housekeeping remarks. Just a reminder to everyone that our meetings are governed by the InstructLab Community Code of Conduct, so let us all treat each other with kindness, politeness, and respect. As you can see, our meetings are being recorded and the recordings will be posted in our community YouTube channel. So therefore, if you prefer to be off camera, that is perfectly great. No problem. We do not judge. And you can also dial in via phone if you would prefer to not even have an icon with your name displayed in this meeting. Last but not least, there is an attendee list at the end of our meeting agenda if you would like to add your name and your GitHub handle. You don't have to, but it's always welcome if you would like to do so. Moving on to our next housekeeping item. I note that next week is a week in which many human beings among the maintainer team, etc., may be on holiday due to the 4th of July holiday and or are deeply engaged in all things product development, which we will get to later in our agenda. I just wanted to take a quick show of hands. Please raise your hand if you think we should have a community meeting next week. I see no hands raised saying that we should definitely have a community meeting next week. I'm going to just do a quick sync with my team, and we may put out a note that we're going to take this meeting off the books for next week and give us all a week to pause, refresh, maybe take some holiday, maybe focus on some other things. So let me just update our notes. Likely to cancel LH2 update folks on list and in Slack if yes. Yes, Ms. Julie Dunham.
My only hesitation with that is a lot of Red Hat folks might not attend the meeting the week after. So that's the week of July 8th.
Yes, ma'am.
Due to some deadlines.
Yes, ma'am.
So if we canceled next week, then we might have some absence for 2 weeks. I don't know if that's...
I hate this plan. How about be sane, cancel the week of 8th July due to deadlines?
Yeah, I feel like that's a good idea. People will be appreciative of that.
Well, that works for me because I'm going to be here next week and the week after. So works. Sounds great. Okay. Thank you for that wonderful feedback, ma'am. All right, folks, other exciting things to announce. InstructLab v0.17.1 has the CLI tool shipped on June the 18th, which is fantastic. This is mostly a bug fixes release, and you can read the full changelog as linked in the agenda. Something that is important for folks here who are doing software development on the project. This release has been tagged stable, but that tag is going to be deprecated on September the 1st. So please note that as you're continuing to do your development and or documentation in the future. Yes, ma'am.
So I actually used this latest release last week during the event for the demo, so it's working fine. And I think last week, in the community meeting, you were asking about whether the alias was going to be deprecated. I think it's going to be deprecated from, I mean, it's going to be, removed from 0.19.0 version. And as well, there is a warning right now when you use the old command or alias commands that, using alias command, you'll be deprecated in the future release. So there are warnings and prompts for you to use the new commands. Yes, JJ. Yeah, you're muted.
Too many buttons. Yeah, I was just about to say the exact same thing. The deprecation notice that the issue was put in by Seth. I think the issue I put in there. I suggested one, and turns out there was already one there. I hadn't actually tried the newest one, so yay, that's good.
Yay.
Super.
Thanks.
Thank you, wonderful humans, for those updates. So a quick announcement in general. I don't think this is going to be a surprise to anyone in the room, but hopefully it is useful for some who are present or folks who may be watching the video. I just wanted to do the as required by good community engagement humans note / heads up that InstructLab is an open source project and community. And it is also an InstructLab. It is also an open source project and community that is something that ends up being a product. That product is a product coming from Red Hat. It's called RHEL AI. What that means in practice for our community is that as we are approaching a release date right now, and this will also be true in the future, that our maintainer team is deeply focused on getting the release out on time. And so they're going to have less time to do some other things. And those things look like currently, folks can't necessarily be as active on Slack to answer questions from people who have questions. So please be patient with us as we do our very, very best to make sure that everybody gets the help that they need, but it'll probably take us more time than we would like. This is also a good time to note that for now, we're pausing our model rebuild process until after GA, because the team is so resource constrained getting the release out the door that that's something that we've had to put on pause. So right now that GA release date is targeted for July the 15th. So just making folks aware that things are not moving as fast as we would like them to. This is a completely normal problem for a project like ours. If you need help and are not getting help fast enough, please tag me in Slack, please tag Carol in Slack, and we will do our very best to find somebody who can assist you in a timely fashion. We can make no guarantees, but we will do our level best. So just wanted to set expectations appropriately with folks, and not perfect, completely expected. Moving on to our next fabulous topic. Since Carol is here, I might ask for her to give us some more remarks about this, as well as Mr. Mark Sturr, whose last name I cannot pronounce correctly, so I will call him forever Mr. Mark Sturr. What happened last week at the Paris AI Dev Conference? Wonderful humans.
It was great. It was a smaller conference than expected, but sometimes that is good because you get more kind of individual attention. You can talk to people more in depth, one-on-one, and we had a lot of that. So our talk was like one of the first one after the keynotes. And it was a packed room. We had, I think that there were 50 seats and they were all taken up, and we had people standing and sitting at the back of the room as well. Mark and I gave the talk, and after that, because we had like 25 slides and 30 minutes, so we didn't have time during the talk for Q&A, but after that, people came up to us with lots of questions. So we stayed there's a 15-minute break between the talks, so we stayed in the room for like 10 minutes, and then we moved out, and there were, to continue the discussions and the questions. So again, a lot of interest in InstructLab, and then we moved on to the booth, and throughout the 2 days, mostly on the first day, but even on the second day, we had people come up to us and with questions, and saying how good, how interesting the project is, and there was even another speaker during his talk later in the day that said how impressed he was with us and asked people in his talk to come talk to us. So it was great. I'll let Mark add on if he has anything additional to say about that.
Oh, that's a great summary. And just the sponsor booth, was in the break area, and like Carol mentioned, the size of the conference was great, and for a lot of people to want to stop and talk to everybody, it was less anonymous than some of the giant conferences. And the booth was right there where the break was as well. So if people were getting, food and drinks, they were hanging out and chatting with us. And by the way, Carol ordered InstructLab signage, so we completely took over it was more like an InstructLab sponsored booth than Red Hat. It was, everyone asked what company InstructLab is. So yeah,
And
it
thanks
worked
to
out really
Mark
well.
thanks to Mark for bringing the signage.
We appreciate you both. Thank you very much. And in addition to putting lots and lots of ta-da emojis into our meeting, I will also give a shout out and a thank you to Carol for giving a lightning talk at the Paris Open Source and AI Developers Meetup on the last day of the conference. The two events were not affiliated, but Carol is a very diligent soul and found a local meetup where she could spread the InstructLab love and talk to like almost 180 people, and then took everyone for snacks and drinks afterwards. So thank you, Carol, and thank you, Mark, for everything that you did last week in Paris. We appreciate you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and I got to watch that, and that was great. You know, it's a very short talk, but very interested group of people, very large group of people. So that was cool to be there.
Right, and we actually only found out the day before. Sorry, Monday or Tuesday, like 2 days before the meetup, because we discovered about the meetup late, and then we found out that we're not supposed to use slides, and it's like a demo only, no slides thing. So at first Mark and I were saying that if we do a lightning talk, we can use the slides that Mo Mac has prepared, because those are like short and sweet. But in the end, I was like, okay, let's just do something on the command line and show like we only had 5 minutes, right? So sorry, Mark, I didn't include you, but I was just thinking like, I'll pull something together for 5 minutes, and it seemed pretty well received, I think.
That is awesome. Thank you very much. That is super cool. Boss may be adding mental notes about upcoming quarterly reviews and how great her employees are in her head right now. Just saying. Anything else we want to add about Paris last week? Okay, groovy sauce. Moving on to the next agenda item, I would like to take a moment to give a shout out to one of our community members, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing his name correctly, Mr. Raul Scarzini. Raul is super awesome and turned up in Slack a couple of days ago asking a bunch of deeply complex questions about Qlora that I was certainly not qualified to help him answer. And lo and behold, I wander back into our Slack today and he's busy answering other users' questions, which is phenomenal. There is nothing that brings more joy to the heart of maintainers and community engagement professionals alike when users help other users with their questions. So thank you, Raul. We appreciate you. Not on our agenda, but I did notice, not to put anyone on the spot, that someone named Suma Nair has joined. And I believe Suma may be the person who is responsible for 3 of our pull requests last week to add new knowledge submissions to InstructLab. So if we are in fact talking about the same person,
yeah,
thank you, Suma.
thank you. It was fun.
Super cool. Just so you know, we have an internal newsletter that we do about InstructLab, and we sung your praises in our internal newsletter. And if you need a copy, I bet your friendly IBM OSPO team can get you a copy.
Oh, that's great. That's great to hear. I also published, through IBM Developer, 3 articles on how to get InstructLab running on Windows. But I have a feeling it's going to become pretty stale pretty soon, because the new version of the iLab CLI is coming out. So I'm excited to see what the differences are.
Are you aware of our subreddit, my friend?
I do, and I think I posted 2 links in there. I should put the 3rd one in as well.
That's perfect. Please do. We would really appreciate it. We get more. It makes the algorithm happier if we are not the moderators posting into the subreddit if other folks are posting. So we just deeply appreciate not only the pull requests and the creation of those pieces of content, but also you posting them. That is super cool. Thank you.
Awesome. Sounds good. I'll do that today itself.
Thank you. Okay. I will now continue on to things that I can do before I hand off to Carol. So as I just mentioned, we do a weekly kind of InstructLab by the numbers internal newsletter so that folks are aware of what is going on in community land. And I have been considering ways that we can make this information more accessible to other folks, so it's not just like, woohoo, we wrote an internal newsletter. And one day we might do a community newsletter. Today is not that day, but it may happen soon. But in the meantime, I thought I would just share a couple of pretty groovy highlights from our internal newsletter with folks on the call. So if I had properly prepared this agenda like a competent person, I would have included more links to content. So let's see, what are some cool things that we can note? So we have a total of 386 daily active users in our Slack workspace, which I think is something that we should all be really quite proud of, actually. That's a huge number of people being actively engaged for a very young project, so that's terrific. I will also note that our least active Slack channel is our social channel. So this is my personal humble request to everybody to get more chatty. If you're feeling social, please say cool things in our InstructLab social channel. We would greatly appreciate it. We are currently going through the process in open source project land where we are a young project, so we don't have the kind of project history that allows us to do like deeply fine-grained health analysis. So we're now using standard GitHub metrics like stars, forks, and watchers. So we are at 749 stars, 676 forks, and 167 watchers as of last Friday. Those are, again, very healthy stats. And we will look forward to bringing you some more robust community statistics as the project ages. I have already mentioned the fabulous 3 pull requests that we had last week to add new knowledge that are all brand new and from Sumaner. Thank you again, Suma. Those are the only... Thank you for pointing out that those are only the top 4 repos, Carol. We appreciate you. This, ladies and gentlemen, is why Carol is awesome. A couple of other recent events or upcoming events that I just wanted to highlight for folks, so they are on your radar. A big thank you to Mr. Mark Sturr for his recent talk at Startup Grind Sacramento at an AI meetup. We appreciate that. And anyone who wants to give a talk at a meetup about InstructLab, please let us know. We'll be happy to get you some stickers, etc., to hand out to attendees. At some point, real soon now, TM, we in InstructLab community land hope to do a whole meetup engagement program for folks who are going to go talk at meetups. So you have like a little kit you can bring with you and all that stuff. But it is on the ever-growing backlog. But that does not mean it will not be addressed real soon now, TM. Other cool upcoming stuff includes, we should give a shout out to our wonderful colleague, Cara Delia, who is currently in London and is moderating a keynote panel on navigating AI adoption in financial services at the FinTech Open Source Foundation's Open Source Strategy Forum. In a couple of weeks, we're going to have a whole bunch of different folks from Red Hat talking about InstructLab at the We Are Developers World Congress event. So if you happen to be in or around Berlin, come and say hello or send your friends to see us. And then at the end of July, our dear friend BJ Hargrave will be giving a talk on open source community instruction tuning of large language models at PyData Vermont, which I am really excited about because I have noted that as far as kind of our conference activities for the year, we're largely going to events we'd already planned to go to since InstructLab is a brand new project this year. And I know we haven't had the opportunity to necessarily get to like regional PyCons or PyData conferences. And I know that's a great audience for our project. So I am really excited that BJ is able to speak at PyData Vermont. So thank you, BJ. And if there is a video of your talk, please share it back with us. We would love to share it out. I think the only other thing that I would want to share with folks is that the call for papers for events that are co-located with KubeCon North America is open through the 14th of July. In particular of interest to this crowd, I think the Cloud Native AI Day would be a great place to submit talks about InstructLab if you are so inclined. So please submit early and often. And if anybody needs help with abstracts, etc., please feel free to let me or Carol know. We have a whole team that works on that, and we are happy to help you with your submission, whether you share an @redhat.com email alias or not. We want people to be successful and to be building out their own personal and professional portfolios with speaking opportunities. So if we can be of service to you and you're interested in submitting, please let us know. Carol, were there any like super cool stats from social media land that you think we should mention? we continue to go up and to the right?
Yeah, mainly. I think we had a lot of engagement last week, mainly because of AI Dev, and actually also the previous weekend was DevConf.cz in Brno, Czech Republic. So right, so there were posts and also retweets and shares of the posts. That's why last week's engagement numbers were really high. This week it might be lower, but I will check for cool stuff to share, and also like Suma and anybody else can also share their own links to Reddit and Twitter, and we can reshare it.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Okay, I will do my last point and then I will hand over to the fabulous Carol Chen. So I was hoping that we could spend some more of our community meeting time doing demos, and I have talked to the team who's currently doing some UI tooling work for InstructLab to make it easier to submit knowledge and skills. And this is everything from giving you the opportunity to query the non-quantized version of InstructLab before you get started on a knowledge or skills submission, so you don't get busy trying to train the model and then realize, oh wait, it already knows this information, as well as tools to help one create finely formatted YAML if you do not natively speak YAML. So that is a team composed of Anil Vishnoi, Brent Salisbury, Gregory Pereira, and Ming Zhao. And they begged off doing a demo this week, but said they'd like to do a demo the week after next, because Anil may be on PTO. And so we will be very jealous of his tropical PTO, but we will look forward to a demo the week of the 8th, which apparently we might not be having now. So we will figure that one out, but let's just say demo coming real soon now. If anybody has suggestions for a cool demo they would like to see, either feel free to shout out now or let Carol or I know later, because we would definitely like to make our community meetings more demo enabled.
Do we also know what people want to see for demos? Have we heard requests?
We have not gotten any requests, and this is why
Okay.
I'm saying, we can totally make up what we think people want to see. We're good at making stuff up. We're talented like that, but we would actually love to hear what people would like to see from them directly if they have suggestions. And it's okay not to, but if you have them, we'll take them.
Julia?
If we have suggestions, where should we put them?
You can ping me or Carol in the InstructLab Slack in any channel you like, but we definitely hang out in the community channel. You can email us using any of the contact details that you can find in this very meeting space or all over the web. You can also drop a note into the meeting agenda for today in the heading under demos coming real soon now, and demos requested for future meetings. And we will check back on the agenda document for those updates so that we know what demos we need to track down for future meetings. Thank you for the excellent question.
Awesome. Thank you, Leslie.
Can
Yes,
I make
Soma.
a suggestion?
Yes, please.
Why don't you start a thread in the subreddit and ask people to contribute there? Or do you want to keep it in-house?
It's a great
The
idea.
demos that they want to see, the presentation, the references they want to see more. Maybe you could, start that conversation there.
Yeah, great idea. Thank you.
So everyone can also see what others have requested. So there is less duplication potentially.
Excellent suggestion. Thank you. I'm going to put Carol on that real soon now.
Yeah, I'll do that for Reddit as well as LinkedIn, because I think right now LinkedIn is one of my most, most engaged channels. So, but great suggestion. Definitely we'll do that.
Okay. This is the part where I am going to hand off to Carol to continue our meeting, and I will head to my car. Thank you, everybody. I will join you soon from phone.
Thanks, Leslie. All right. Actually, I think Leslie went through most of the items on the agenda. Let's see. Demos. Okay, and I see this next week, bring your favorite sci-fi book for show and tell. Does anyone already have something prepared for this week? Yes, I missed last week's due to being in Paris, so I guess we'll prepare for next week then. Before we kind of start to wrap up the meeting, does anybody have any topics they want to chat about? We still have a lot of time, so.
I have a question.
Yes,
So,
please.
as I started interacting with iLab, the non-deterministic nature of the animal really got to me because you especially since it's quantized, sometimes you think that it doesn't know stuff and you go and research and prepare content, and then you go and chat with the model and hey, does know something. It has happened to many people, I think. So what I started to do is I created a very simple UI that uses the REST endpoints, and it keeps track of my chat history so that um, I could ask the same question multiple days and look at the patterns that I'm seeing and be more certain as to what it came back with, because I may not remember, right? It's not my full-time thing, right? I may not remember what it told me last time. So uh, is so it would keep that chat history. It's very simple, Python and React, very simple UI that I created. But I think if you guys are looking at UI capabilities for creating the content submission, maybe this is also something that could be considered, right? Where people actually interact with it like you do with ChatGPT, and you get to keep your chat history until you decide to clear it out. It's just a suggestion, something to think about. And I could, make a tiny video or something and share it with you all if you're interested of what I did. So maybe that's something to think about, I think.
Yeah, demos are always welcomed. JJ, before I let you, I believe the chat logs are saved on the InstructLab folder directory, data chat logs. But anyway, yes, JJ, maybe you know
Honestly,
better.
because it's such a heavy thing, sometimes I just wipe out my InstructLab folder altogether,
Right.
and then I lose it completely. So that's
Right.
why I did that. But yeah.
JJ?
So yeah, first of all, amazing, Suma. That's amazing. There's another opportunity here. I think it was last week or maybe the week before. I got a dev doc approved for us to start looking into making a Mac app for InstructLab. So you know how you can just drag and drop for like a little like how you do like all major apps now. Part of it would be a Chat GPT kind of communications, like a local web server or a local aspect to it, so you can interact with it through a GUI. So I would love to see what you're doing there, and I have a feeling there's an opportunity for some collaboration.
Yeah, sure. I'll make a very quick recording and share with y'all
That'd be
tomorrow.
great.
Please hit me up on Slack. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I'm sure it has some bugs, but it is there in my GitHub repo now. I haven't looked at it for at least a couple of weeks, I think. But it should be, yeah. Let me post the link in case you want to take a look. Best thing is for me to just record it and share it with you all.
Yeah.
But I'll put the link here anyway in case.
Yeah, if you share the link, we can all take a look, and we'll be happy for you to either have a recording or demo it at a future community meeting, maybe next week or something like that.
Yeah, I put the links in there.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Server is just a very simple Python script. It creates a very tiny local DB and stores it, stores the chat history, and the UI is just the interface. And yeah, I'm sure it has bugs.
Well, that's you can tell people that's where we submit a pull request, right? to work on improve it together. Thanks for that.
But
All right.
I'll definitely make recording sometime this week, maybe over the weekend, depending on when I get to spin it up.
Yeah, but definitely, I was caught by the non-deterministic nature of responses as well. Live in the demo, but Mark can attest to it. Like, oh, this was not what I saw last night when I tried it out, and then
Exactly, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I got tripped a
So-
couple of times until I realized, hey, that's the nature of the creature, right? That's how it's
Right.
supposed to be.
Yeah, cool.
And it's not that the answers are necessarily wrong, it's just that it's coming at it from a different angle.
Right. It's
Right.
creating
Anytime
is
it's responding, it's using some knowledge it has, and it's coming from that perspective. Next time it's using some of the knowledge, and both the answers are correct. It's just that they're different.
Yep. Hi, Leslie. Again,
Hi.
we have possible demos from Suma for future community meetings. So
See, I disappear for
Yeah.
5 minutes to make sure that the kid has everything she needs with her babysitter before I disappear into Carland, and everything comes together. Love it.
You brought things together. You were the one to plant the seeds so that all these fruits can be harvested. I don't know what kind of analogy I'm making here, but
Oh, it's
yeah.
a great analogy. One of our dear friends, Karsten Wade, has called community engagement community gardening for, wow, the last 15 years I've known him. It's a beautiful
Right.
metaphor and one that I treasure.
I love it.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Suma. Anything else?
I think if we are out of agenda items, people should take 23 minutes back to enjoy the sunshine and or get other stuff done. Or listen to the horrible announcement from the never lost lady in my car. I'm so sorry.
All right. Yeah. Let's enjoy the rest. I don't know whether it's good weather where you are, but in Finland right now it's one of those rare days in summer where we have sunshine and t-shirt weather. I don't have to go out in a sweater, so I'm going to enjoy it. And I hope y'all will enjoy today and the rest of the week. And we'll
I'm in Texas. We have too much sunshine these days.
Yeah. Oh, I used to live in Dallas, so I know how it is in Texas. Yeah, that can be too much. But cool. Yeah, let's sync up again very shortly. Greetings from Bonn. Yeah, that's a lovely city too. And
We have an entire Bonn InstructLab crew going on here. It's pretty great.
Yeah, we should get more events going on in Germany. I think we have a lot of people in Germany, so based in Germany. Yep. All right. Thanks, everyone. I'm going to stop recording.
Take care, folks. Bye.
And see y'all next week.
Yeah.
Will do. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. Recording.